All right, so first let's talk about listening section visualization. So again, remember that for humans, for us, seeing is our most powerful ability. And therefore, it's very important that when we look at information, we try to see the information that we're reading. So make sure that when you're doing the listening section or when you're practicing at home for this listening section, try to see the information using the questions. So again, in our example, section 3 is talking about a group project, and there are 3 people in this group project, and they're talking about how they're going to create a poster. So as you read the questions, you can kind of see this information, and what you should try to do is you should try to see the poster that these 3 students are putting together, and try to see the organization of the poster, the way that it will look. So make sure that you're using clear pictures and try to include yourself. So see information clearly. And try to include yourself. That means be one of these students. When you include yourself into the pictures that you see in your head, then it becomes much more important for your mind, and this way you will be able to listen more carefully and you'll catch the information better. So include yourself. In the image.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear 3 students organising a class project. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
I just got an email from the professor saying the due date for our European History group project has been pushed back to Monday.
Great! That means we'll have the weekend to work on it.
I suppose that's good news, but I don't really want to do any homework on my weekend. I had planned to go away with my girlfriend for some relaxation this weekend.
I suppose that's understandable. Maybe we should just have it done by Friday, the original due date. That gives us today and Thursday to finish it.
We can do that, I think. I'm available tomorrow. How about we spend today planning it, assign tasks to take home with us and do tonight, and then meet tomorrow and put it all together? Does that sound right?
That works for me.
That doesn't work too well for me. My afternoon is very busy. I guess I'll just have to burn the midnight oil tonight.
What has you so tied up, Evan?
I have a basketball game after school today, and then my favourite football team plays this evening at 7. It's okay though. I'll get the work done. Let's get started on the planning.
All right. So we have to come up with a 3-panel poster about a topic in European history. I already bought the material for the poster, so we don't have to worry about that.
How much was it?
It was £3.
OK, we'll each give you £1 for the poster board.
No, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway.
Alright, so again, make sure that you're practicing this at home before you do the IELTS exam, so that when you get to the IELTS exam, you can do this much faster and much better. We can look at section 4 as well. Now, section 4 deals with a different topic. In section 4, the topic is about climate change. And again, climate change is something that most of us are very familiar with. So before you listen, or as you're looking at these questions, try to visualize climate change. So most of us know that the world is becoming warmer, the ice caps are melting, therefore water levels are rising, places that are forests are becoming more dry. So again, you want to try to see this information, let your brain use this information while you're trying to answer the question. So we can look at these questions, try to visualize it, and then listen and hopefully have a more clear idea of what is being discussed.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a professor discussing climate change. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello class, hope you all had a good weekend. Today we will be talking about climate change. Life on Earth is going to have some adapting to do if climate scientists are correct with regard to their predictions of the Earth's rising atmospheric temperature. Humans and animals alike may have to change both their habits and habitats. The average temperature on the Earth's surface has risen by an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the last 100 years, and this trend is continuing at an ever-increasing speed. Until now, it seems that business and the environment have met as adversaries. But with the growing profitability of green products, perhaps business can play a positive role in the fight to save the environment. There is an ever-growing consensus that the cause of climate change can be linked to human action. To be more specific, environmental change is caused by the emission of greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is chief among these. So what's so bad about things getting a little warmer, you may wonder? Weather patterns could become more extreme. The polar ice caps could melt. Sea levels could rise, and incidences of famine due to drought could also increase. On the other hand, places such as northern Canada will likely become more productive for farming and mineral and crude oil extraction. What isn't positive about the permafrost melting is that the ice is a carbon sink, and when it melts, it releases even more carbon into the atmosphere. It's clear that humans will have to change their relationship with the Earth and its resources, but the debate remains over who should be leading that change. Advocates of personal responsibility claim that small personal measures, such as changing light bulbs or riding a bike, can make a significant difference.
Alright, so that's it for visualization. Now let's look at paraphrasing in a little bit more detail. Alright, so listening section paraphrasing. Perhaps the best advice I can give you for the listening section, to practice for the listening section at home, is by paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means to say the same idea using different words. And this is how the IELTS listening section is tested. When you see the questions, you will see them in one way, and then when you listen to the audio, the speaker or the speakers are going to say the same information with the answers, but using different words. So it's very important that at home you try to practice paraphrasing the questions so that your mind is quick at catching different ways of saying the same ideas. So practice understanding questions in different ways or using different words.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
I just got an email from the professor saying the due date for our European History group project has been pushed back to Monday.
Great! That means we'll have the weekend to work on it.
I suppose that's good news, but I don't really want to do any homework on my weekend. I had planned to go away with my girlfriend for some relaxation this weekend.
I suppose that's understandable. Maybe we should just have it done by Friday, the original due date. That gives us today and Thursday to finish it.
We can do that, I think. I'm available tomorrow. How about we spend today planning it, assign tasks to take home with us and do tonight, and then meet tomorrow and put it all together? Does that sound right?
That works for me.
That doesn't work too well for me. My afternoon is very busy. I guess I'll just have to burn the midnight oil tonight.
What has you so tied up, Evan?
I have a basketball game after school today, and then my favourite football team plays this evening at 7. It's okay though. I'll get the work done. Let's get started on the planning.
All right. So we have to come up with a 3-panel poster about a topic in European history. I already bought the material for the poster, so we don't have to worry about that.
How much was it?
It was £3.
OK, we'll each give you £1 for the poster board.
No, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway.
Sounds good to me.
Right then, since there's 3 of us, my idea was that 2 of us could take care of the writing part of the project, while 1 of us could look after the artwork, making the poster look smart.
I'll do the artwork. I think I'm a pretty good artist.
I'll be happy to do half the writing. What topics are we going to choose?
Well, the professor said the topic has to be an event that took place somewhere between 1400 and 1800, so we can't do either of the world wars.
That's too bad. My dad is an expert on the Second World War, and he could have helped me with my part. What are we going to do instead?
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30.
Now again, remember that there are many ways to paraphrase. So one way to paraphrase are synonyms. Synonyms are basically different words that have the same meaning, like big is the same as large. Another way that we can paraphrase is using antonym, which is the opposite word, plus a negative word. So, for example, stay is the same as saying don't go. There are a few other ways, for example, descriptive paraphrasing. If I say it's round, it's red, it's delicious, this is an apple. This is called descriptive paraphrasing. Phrasal verbs, expressions, this is called expressive paraphrasing. So, for example, I ran into my friend the other week means that I encountered my friend the other week. And don't be surprised, the IELTS uses these different techniques to paraphrase the information. So you should try this at home as well. Let's look at a section 3 right now and a section 4, and let's paraphrase the questions and then listen to the audio to see if we can maybe guess or predict some of the speakers through the paraphrasing exercise. I promise that if you practice the paraphrasing of the listening section questions at least a few times before the IELTS exam, this will really help to improve your score. So again, remember, visualizing information and paraphrasing information are excellent ways to help improve while you practice before the IELTS exam. Alright, so these examples that we're using are taken from www.aehelp.com. To get more practice with the listening section and for a lot of listening exercises, please visit our page and join the full IELTS course.